Okay. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, Cece, could you start us off with a prayer?
Heavenly Father, we thank you and we praise you. We pray 1 Peter 3 and 13. And who is he who will harm you if you become followers of what is good? Lord, we thank you that this is a productive meeting and that we understand clearly and then we walk according to your integrity, God. And we thank you for the manifestations of the blessings to be showered down on the people, and that whoever is in leadership is not right in alignment with God, that they be removed. We thank you that your will be done in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. All right, we're going to move forward. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to be pulling up slides of the fines and the laws so you guys can see this and understand exactly what they are doing. And I was just talking to Cece about it. And they either doing one or two things. They're signing the permits or they're not signing the permits. And they wait until 35 days expired and let the developers just build what they want to build. So I'm going to start sharing a couple of things with you guys. This is the Georgia Code. This is the law that we go by, Georgia rules, 391-3-7-09. I'm going to pull it down so you can see exactly. Can everybody see what I pull up?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go to C, and this is where they're talking about the municipalities, the county, the water authority, and our water sewer authority with the MOA. If you can see it, they're talking about approximately that local soil and water conservation approve and disapprove the erosion and settlement control panels shall be approved or disapproved or a reverse plan submitted. So when I disapprove the developing plans, they have within that 35 days, they have to resubmit. And if they don't resubmit on time, then they lose their bonds. And then the bank's backed up off of them. So you have 35 days within this law to get your plans approved. I have 35 days to get it back to them on time, or they will be automatically approved. And so what I'm saying is, since they're not sending that to me, either Chairman Oz is signing it or his engineers are signing it. Somebody who's not supposed to be signing it is signing, or they're not signing it. And they're just telling them, hey, we're just going to let those 35 days run out. And that's why y'all see all this building going on. So in order to find out everything, we have to ask for open records. Find out what's going on. First of all, over there in McCart Landing, I disapprove that development plans. So I'm going to show you where I disapprove it. If I can pull it down. No, that's not it. See right here. It's back in June of 2021. And these are the checklists that I go by. And if you can see on checklist 37, that was my main one, is that the BMP was not followed. That's best management practice. And the next thing was when I look at the development plans, they had grading problems. They didn't draw it out properly. So I'm like, where's the water going? So right now, the homeowners are having problems with grading. That's why I disapprove of it. I knew that it was going to be problems. So I'm going to find out who approved this, or did they resubmit it and give them 35 days and just let them went on and build it. So that's what's going on right there. Anybody got any questions? Okay. But this is what we do for us. Once we get the development plans, then I look it over, and then I go by the laws. I go by the checklist that we have. And when I look at the erosion plans for the development, I said, no, this ain't going to work. So you see my license, my certification license and everything. So that's pretty much what how we go by approving everyone. So now I'm going to pull up how I knew that the county was out of compliance. So this is the one that was in March. If you can see right here, you see that Georgia Environmental Protection Division for the state of Georgia got involved. And here you can see all the violations that was going on, how much gallons of raw sewage that was backed up. You see here over here on Spring Creek Drive, it's 24,375 gallons of wastewater that was backed up. Usually they make excuses that don't make any sense. We was repairing the pipe, really. If you see all the way down, that's what they'll tell you. They was cleaning a pipe out or they was repairing it. That is not true. That's what I asked the guy from EPD. I said, why do you have the same excuse? So if you see all of this is this madness. 30,000, that's a lot of wastewater. Let's see. Got one more. Okay. I don't have the other one. But they was fine also in 2022. This is how I got them, got EPA down here and got them involved because of the fines. Anybody got any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. This is Diane.
Go ahead.
So when they got the letter did they respond in any way at all to the violations letter?
Well, they have 35 days to respond to them. And what they respond is that they was going to make sure they put in place. I haven't seen the paper yet, but basically what the guy said, they was trying to put in place better BMP, best management practice. And I'm saying, okay, that's the same old words that people use. The whole thing is that we got 60 and 70-year-old pumps, and no matter what they do, it's not going to get any better.
Yeah, well, it wasn't an excuse. It didn't say anything about what they're going to do to remedy, just better practice next time.
Pretty much. So that's why I'm asking for a consent decree. Putting them under the consent decree, meaning that they have to follow the federal laws. Right now, they're just following state laws, and so you're doing a good old boy system while we suffer, while we put our health online.
I have a question. This CC. Do they have insurance to cover all this? Bonds or anything? Cover for accidents and problems like this?
Yes, they do.
How do we go about just filing a claim?
That I don't know. But that's something that we need to look into. But that's why I broke this down for y'all to see exactly what the law says. Laws don't say anything about anybody else signing those permits. And that's why I wanted to break it down so y'all can see that if they're not signing the permits, then what they're doing is giving a wink and a nod to the developers and the property owners. So like in McCarthy Landing, they got this property owner, what's this, what y'all call it, Delk? So with this property owner, he's pretty much probably had a wink and a nod with Osnesby and saying, okay, we're just going to wait out the 35 days and you can automatically build. And that's what the law says. But there's only one thing wrong. I'm sitting here and I have all the certification and it was supposed to send it to me. So you can't just say, oh, well, nobody sent that 35 days. No, nobody sent me the plans. So that's why phase 2 and phase 3, we have problems with that. That is pretty much, you can pretty much say that they're breaking the law. So the HOAs in McCart Landing need to approach the guy and let him know, hey, we need to talk. You remember what we was talking about, Ray?
Yeah, correct.
Mm-hmm. So, anybody got any other questions to ask? So going forward with those two fines that I have in place, that's give me a foot to go to court, and plus I have EPA talking to me that, and they'll promise that we're going to set up a consent decree. But in the meantime, what I'm telling the homeowners is that you need to approach them. If they don't want to work anything out with you, then you need to put a permanent injunction in place. You need to go to court. We have 2 more months of building season. And if we don't get it done this year, then next year is everybody's running for office. So you're gonna hear a whole lot of politics and a whole lot of promise, and they know they're not gonna live up to their promise. So Sylvia, you have anything to say?
We just found out from our HOA leader last night that they approved that development in the front of our subdivision. And she had some kind of written communication with the commissioners, but didn't tell us that she had that. So I'm not quite sure what to think right now of my HOA or Rockdale County, to tell you the truth.
Y'all been fighting that for a long time.
Yep.
I thought they had backed off on that.
So did we.
That's Van Ness property, correct?
I can't say because I've never seen any paperwork on it. So I'm not going to say whose property is because I don't know.
Okay.
I don't like to talk off the top of my head like that. I want to see something in front of me.
I totally agree with you. Because stay with the facts.
Absolutely.
When did they approve this?
Chairman, I'm gonna have to talk to you offline.
Okay. All right. We'll talk about it later. Okay. Anything you need to say, Monica? Okay.
No, Sylvia has basically expressed her ideas about her subdivision. I think we're good.
Okay. All right.
How can we, I have a question. How can we, as a community, get a chance to speak with Oz Nesbitt? Because, in our meeting, they keep saying, "Oh, Jerry, Washington, I believe it said, and, we have more meetings. We're going to see what the county can do," but they keep, I think taking advantage and, pushing back dates and, or just saying that they don't want to meet and, they don't know what to do. They don't know how to handle that really.
So are you saying that somebody was saying something? So are you saying that you want to have a meeting with Oz Nesby and the rest of the commission?
yes, it's very important that we have that meeting because our detention pond issue is huge. You know,
Yeah.
that's like it's like a natural disaster waiting to happen, literally. And the way that things are moving so slow, it's not because my HOA does not care. They've been doing their due diligence, and you know, um, the responses are as if we can wait for something like that.
Well, no, you can't wait for nothing like that because that's a retaining pond, and all you're gonna do is have more sinkholes. I mean, that water is not going anywhere. Uh, Really, you should have a detention pond so the water can be moving to Yellow River, which is right by you, and so you need that water to be moving. Whereas they built a retaining pond, which what you built when you first start building homes, and what they just did is like, okay, we're not building a detention pond. We're just going to let that sit right there. And so when I seen it, I was like, holy, wait a minute. This DNR is supposed to be involved in this. Uh, uh, well, I'm an Army Corps engineer, USDA, all of them supposed to be involved in that. Anytime you got standing water sitting there, and I don't care what's about 2-3 feet deep, you still got to have the uh, the agencies involved because that's become like a wetland. And that's exactly what y'all have. Y'all have like a wetland. You got all kind of animals living in there. So that's where the DNR and all of that come in. That's why when the HOAs was talking about they was paying $20,000 to keep it up, and I said, oh no, no, you're not supposed to do that. That is the county. That is the state. And that's the Fed. They put that there. They're supposed to take care of it. So that was one thing when I seen. I said, no, that's not you guys' problem. That is the developer left it there, and the county and the state did not do anything about it.
So, is there anything that we can hold the declarant responsible for because they have not turned over, turned everything over to our HOA yet? So what responsibility does the declarant have?
You have
Since
a
they
lot of
own all of this.
responsibility. You have a lot of responsibility. First of all, like I was talking to Ray said he wanted the HOAs to approach him first and then go legal if they decide that they don't want to talk to you guys or push you guys off. And like I said, well, yeah, I understand that you're doing a paper trick, but the whole thing is what I was just showing them, Rachel, is I was showing them the laws, 391-3-7-09. It's basically saying that the district signed off on everything. But if the district is not signing off and Ons Nesby is signing off and he's saying, no, I'm not signing off, and the state, they pretty much told me they wasn't going to sign off on permits. So then who's signing off? And then you read into the law, and the law says if after 35 days, they got 35 days to turn in the development plans. And if they don't turn in the development plans in 35 days, then the developer, he's automatically start billing. And so what I'm saying is, okay, and what y'all doing is really, y'all saying we're not going to do anything. We're just going to let it expire those 35 days, and so they can build whatever they want to. But they got one problem. Jimmy Johnson sitting here with all the certification. So you're supposed to send that. That's in the law. You're supposed to send that to me. So that's what we got to find out. That's the open records we got to find out. So that means they did a backdoor deal. I mean, your Decker, he did a backdoor deal, which ain't legal. I mean, DR Horton did a backdoor deal. And we need to find out what's going on. This is criminal. You can't just say, okay, we're going to just let the 35 days rock. Not when you got an elected official who got all the certification.
Kenny, I agree with you, but my only point is that the two retention ponds, they were put there 18 years ago. That was way before D.R. Horton came in. So this really goes back to the declarant when he initially started developing this community. And technically, if he hasn't given power to the HOA for the community, then issues like that should still fall back on the declarant. You know, the builders getting, you know, bypassing, you know, the issues you're speaking of to start building, that's one issue. But as far as what do we do with these retention ponds, I don't think that falls back on either of these builders, D.R. Horton or now Quinn Residences. I think it really falls back on the declarant, since, you know, they're still making decisions on what happens in the community. I mean, they're the ones that's granting contracts to these companies to come in and build in the first place.
Could you define declarant, please? I don't know.
That's the term that's in our bylaws and covenants that refers to the owner who actually developed McCart Landing as a community. We keep using that term, and I keep saying we need to know who that corporate entity or person is, what their name, but it seems to be the best kept secret in McCart Landing right now. I haven't, if anybody on this call knows who the actual declarant is, please speak up.
That's, I hear what you're saying, Ray, you're exactly right, but also the decker is not just by itself.
The definition.
I
have the definition.
Go ahead.
They actually gave us the definition at the meeting. It said declarant, well, actually, what does it say? It says, this was the question I was asked. Have the declarant's rights been transferred to anyone other than Drepack? If so, to whom? And do you still own phase 3? And how many lots has Quinn Residences purchased? And the answer, I guess, and they said that also the declarant is like hiding under all these different entities. And that's why you can't find a person, because one entity owns another entity, owns another entity. So it's just like, but it says information regarding Quinn Residences, ownership is publicly available and recorded in the real estate property records. So like they asked them directly and spoke to their lawyers because we can't get to him. It says we are still the declarant. I'm like, so what do you mean we are still the declarant? Quinn Residences is like, who is the declarant? And still own phase 3 of the subdivision. So this declarant still owns the subdivision and can make the decisions, just like they owned all of the land for phase 1 and phase 2. So this specific person who is written in our bylaws and the covenant, anything that happens, it says and declarant. You know, it says HOA and declarant. If we want to do votes, and declarant. So we don't have power. It's basically letting us know in this documentation that you can't do anything without me. You can't make decisions without me. I still have power, and it's an unfair advantage over the homeowners. That's the issue that we're really having. I mean, they bought our domain name. They bought McCart Landing. They literally bought the name, so they're like, well, you can have it for a price. Like, this is what's going on.
Still doesn't tell us who the declarant is.
You know, my bad. I thought it said declarant and then the definition, and then when I'm reading, it's not even giving me the declarant. It's not giving me the definition. But let me go ahead and talk to the HOA president, and I'm gonna ask her real quick, because so far what I've heard is Drepack, and then there's Stars and Stripes. Can somebody clarify that?
If you go to, this is CC, if you go to the courthouse here in Rockdale County and look up the property names, you can find who is the declarant. You can find all that is registered.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And it can't be registered under an entity?
Yeah, you can look up the plots. You can, and then you also can once you go there, you can also go online with the state Secretary of State under business, and you can search the name. It'll have somebody else, and then you just do a little bit more investigation. Just call me. Maybe we can meet, and I'll help you sort through some of that, and you can find it. Okay.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Just
Yeah,
put
this
your
is amazing.
information
And
in the chat box.
some guy was in my backyard last night looking at the pond in the back of my yard, and he mentioned an entity called St. Burke, that St. Burke had hired him to actually start working on remediating the issues with the pond and back, and he went back there and was looking all around. So I have no idea what St. Burke is, but that's the name he gave me.
Give you no paperwork, just a name.
No, and just showed up at my door, asked me if he could walk through my yard to get back there.
So we got to find out who's this Decker. That's the bottom line. We got to find out who this is. They're hiding behind a lot of LLCs, and so we got to find out who exactly is who. Because if you don't find out who's the LLC underneath that, and you're going to have a lawyer too. Let's just say it. You're going to have a lawyer. I heard about your last lawyer. You talk about and nothing he can do, and after I introduced you to my lawyer, Evidence, the first thing she said, no, you got to go after them. So we're not going to let this Decker pretty much control that whole subdivision. That is not going to happen. Anybody else have anything to say? Thought I seen a hand up.
I just looked up St. Burke, and this is what I found. It's Saint and it's Bourke. Does that sound similar to what this gentleman said to you when he came out to your house?
Exactly, St. Burke.
Brother. It says it's a property development company primarily focused on residential communities and commercial assets. I pulled up their private equity, it looks like. It was originally established as Drepack Capital Partners. And it says it's an international property investment firm. And they say they have an extensive U.S. property portfolio. So if you just drop St. Burke, that's ST.BOURKE into Google, it'll pull it up. And I would probably say that this is who came out to visit you. It sounds like it.
Yeah, that's who.
Didn't he say that they own the subdivision? Didn't he tell you that? I thought that's what you had said. Okay. Let's see, we got two other people. Robert, you have anything to say? How you doing, Linda? Do you have anything to say?
Good morning. I had sent in a request for help and assistance with my property here in McCart Landing, and I just want to get some direction as to how to get the issue resolved.
Okay, what kind of problem you have?
Drainage, rain runoff, two houses were built during the pandemic behind my house, and they relocated or removed the drainage system that was there. And so when it rains, the water runs to my backyard, and I got sinkholes, I got tree roots that are so loose when they have those pop-up storms. One had fallen in my yard, and it was a big tree, and I had to spend $2,000 to get that tree removed. I just need some help.
Okay. Make sure you put your information in the chat box for me. And so I'm gonna have I have Orlando come out, plus I'm gonna come out and see you.
I appreciate that very much.
What's a good time for me to come out today?
Today?
Today or Monday, either one?
Yeah, I'm at home all day today.
Okay. All right. I'll come see you.
Thank you.
All right.
I do have another question. I'm trying to figure out ways to get them to stop building. Any ways that we can, while we're trying to figure out what our game plan is, because our community does want to do something about this. They don't want to sit down. People are ready to organize them. So, I mean, right now, I don't think they can even put, we have rental issues where we have, they put rentals in between our houses, bought up those lots and just, you know, put rentals that were like 2,000 square feet. And in our first phase, I think the average is like maybe 3,500 square feet. And then DR Horton came under that. And I think the smallest home that we have in our phase 2 is like 2,600 square feet, but then these rentals are like 2,100 square feet. They're itty bitty. They look nothing like the community. And they don't have mailboxes yet. I think that's what's stopping them from putting people in the rentals. But there's rental signs all over the place. And we're just trying to find ways to stop them while we're coming up with a game plan that makes sense, because as soon as I let the community know, we're all hands on deck, whoever agrees. But so far, they just want to know what to do, because this was a beautiful community. It drew a lot of people here, you know, and they're over here advertising McCart Landing Quinn residences like it's a rental community.
Yeah.
It's not. It's over 200 homeowners in this community.
So you remember when we talked to Ebony, the first thing she said was that you have to have a permanent injunction. And this is the perfect time because we only have 2 more months of building season. And if your HOA community want to stop things real quick, then you need to put that in place. That's the only thing that's going to stop. You got to go to the Superior Court, and you have to put in that permanent injunction.
You say 2 more months of, when you say 2 more months of building season, are you saying that construction needs to stop after, I guess, what, October?
They usually slow it down. They usually stop it because they're not giving out any more permits. It used to be the holidays and everything.
Oh,
and
but
then
if they already have a build permit, they can keep building.
Yeah, but the weather be too bad.
Right. Well, yeah, depending on weather. Okay.
That's why I'm saying building season. See, they need this good old hot weather that we got going now. But once that weather turns, it's difficult for them to have that cement to settle. Ground is not right. So that slow them down a lot. So they pretty much don't do much building during the winter time.
Also, can you explain how the building affects our ecosystem and our the soil, water, and air, so that people understand how it's affecting our community on a much higher scale than we think?
Okay. what I was showing them is where I disapproved this. And let me get to that so I can show them exactly what I'm talking about. So this is where I disapproved this. And the reason why I disapproved phase 2 and it's because of all the streams they had over there. And I already know that that land wasn't stable. And I knew that you was going to have problems with grading. That's why I check off on the checklist 37. Everybody can see what I've just pulled up. So when I,
Yes.
okay, so when they sent me the erosion development plans and I looked it over, I was like, okay. I called the guy at the DR Horton. I called him. I said, hey, I'm not going to approve this. You can't tell me where the water is going, and your grading system is not proper. And so, and I told him, I said, your BMP is not correct, and that's management practice. So he's told me, well, we've done everything we can. I said, well, I'm going to disapprove this. And then he called me back and said, please, can you give us another chance and let us submit this again? I said, yeah, you can submit it all you want to, but it's not going to be approved. So now y'all are in, they went around this, and now you guys have built on this, and now you having great problems. And it's just going to get worse. Because if they don't put in the right drains and stuff in your grading of your property, all of your thing, all what's going to happen is your property is going to open up. And so right now we just need to, we have a lot of problems going on. You have the Yellow River right there by you. And so all these streams were filling into the Yellow River. And all they had to do is built around those streams. Instead, they drained them and they fill it in with dirt. And now they're having problems with grading because you don't just drain streams that feed into lakes, because you still have water underneath, trapped underneath these rocks and everything. So this is the major problem we have. And then we have a major problem with our backup sewage. We have to, what I have to do is I have to get a consent decree. And that's the only way we're going to have control over this county. Right now, this is what everybody needs to know. And this is why I'm telling you that you can do the permanent injunction. It's because Rockdale County been out of compliance for decades. Once I found that out, that was it. And the state couldn't tell me nothing. The federal government couldn't tell me a doggone thing. Because my question was, why they not under consent decree? Every month they have wastewater spill. Every month that, I mean, I'm telling everybody, put filters on your waters. They got so much chemicals in there in your drinking waters. And then at the combination, you got all this wastewater just all over the place. And so if the federal government know that this county is out of compliance, why in the heck you not doing anything? That's why I'm bringing to light. And that's the major problems. That's why I'm telling you guys, we got to stop the building. And you want to stop the building in your community, really, it's not going to just be one HOA. All of y'all need to start communicating. I have Grand Cayman. I definitely think Grand Cayman and McCarthy Landing need to be communicating. I'm gonna make sure that happens. Both of y'all are $1 million homes, and y'all having the same problems. And they calling me saying the same thing. Hey, we need to get a law. We need to stop this building. So we all need to come together. The more we come in a mass force, then that's when they hear us. So that's what I'm talking about, and that's what I'm showing you right here. What I turned down, and so if they went around me and got their 35 days, and let those 35 days expire, and just went on and built, then yeah, y'all got a real good reason to be saying, hey, we need a permanent injunction. Anybody got any questions? I didn't quite hear you. Your phone breaking up. I'm just saying your phone breaking up. I can't hear you. So this is why I want to show everybody. I want to make sure that you guys knew exactly what has to happen before anybody start doing any building or anything. They have to this form have to be filled out properly. This form right here. And then you have to go to all those checklists. And that is not happening.
Chairman?
Yeah.
Okay, the person I think that was trying to ask you a question did put it in the chat. The question is, are the builders required to have a bond?
Yes. Yes. That's when they that 35 days, that's what they're banking on, that they have they're gonna be able to build and you be able to prove them. If they're not approved, then they're losing their bond after that 35 days.
Document here though is for DR Horton,
Mm-hmm.
and DR Horton has pretty much finished all their building in our community now. I mean, they only have one house that they're actually constructing up front where the mailboxes, the community mailboxes used to be. And that house is, it looks like it's about 75 to 80% done. And all their other houses are sold except for their sales office, which they have listed for sale.
But your HOA have to sign off to release them out of that.
I don't know that the HOA is being contacted for any of this stuff.
No, the only for them to be released, I mean, I have to give you the state law. The only way for them to be released out of that community, because they still have warranties that they have to fulfill. Only way they're going to be released out of the community is through the HOA, because they have to turn everything over to the HOA.
Yeah, but what I guess my point is though is that all this construction issue is already passed. I mean, what are we going to hold them accountable to? I mean, except for maybe some people that are having water erosion issues in their yard. I mean, I don't know. And I know
But you still have warranties.
I know DR Horton has been out here speaking to people about the erosion in their yard. I mean, I can't speak for what they're doing, or what they haven't done, but.
Well, that erosion, that's still got to be signed off by the county and the districts. That's why I'm telling you that the HOAs have the final say so with DR Horton. He can't leave the community until the HOAs sign off. It's paperwork that they have.
I don't know, because I mean, the first HOA meeting I attended after we bought our house in February, the HOA president at that time was saying they had nothing to do with DR Horton coming in here. Again, it was back on the declarant, so I don't know how much communication the HOA is having with any of these developers, Quinn or even now it's Quinn Residence who's putting in these rental homes. And so I mean that's an open-ended question. I don't know, Rachel, I don't know if you're taking things for the HOA to try to get clarification, but
so what I was told was they had no idea who was ever building. No one tells them anything.
Right.
And they quite frankly told them they didn't have to tell them. That could be a lie, but they said, we don't have to tell you anything. Look at the covenants and the bylaws. You have, control after whatever it says the percentage is done being built, and then we'll give you the control. But for right now, so they said whenever a developer comes in, they know who they are because they see signs up and because they ask, who are you? But no one comes to them. There is no notice. There is no NOI. They're not notified whatsoever.
and that's what I've heard too. So it's like they're just dealing directly with the declarant.
Well, the developers, they cannot, I gotta look at their state law, but the developers have to go to the HOA to have the final signature when they get to a certain percent of completion in that subdivision, they have to go to the HOAs to sign off to leave the.
Right, but we're not there yet at McCart Landing. That's the issue.
Yeah, maybe they're going to the Drepack. They must be going to Drepack for everything and not the HOA because they don't have that's the last name, just like you said, the Bjork or whatever, the what was it the name that came to you? Saint Burke. Yeah. Didn't she say that they were also called Drepack, or
I don't know.
because what they've been chasing is who's in charge and who's making decisions and who do they need to talk to. That's the issue with the HOA. They keep hiding behind different names and different U.S. Entities. And so I was like, oh no, we don't have it anymore. We sold it to them. But now that's the developer over there. They're not in charge. Oh, well, no, that's not the person you need to talk to. So you know what? I know today at what is it, at 1:30, I'll be speaking to the HOA president and the treasurer. And I can bring you in, Mr. Johnson, so that we can come up with a game plan because we want to know what to do.
Okay.
If she does have the specifics, because we do want to move forward and we don't want to keep sitting. We're going to find out the names that she has. And then whoever earlier said that I can help you find those names, I want to look and find the names myself so I can see with my own two eyes who owns these buildings and these properties right now, so that we know who to go after, so that it doesn't like slow us down in the process.
That's Cece who told you that. I'll make sure she contact you. Yeah, I would love to be there to talk to you guys because you got to move fast. It's time for you to move. I'm just trying to figure out the paperwork. When you start talking to me, I want to know the paper. And right now, I'm just hearing a whole lot of talk, and I'm not seeing the paper. The developer can say whatever you want to say, but he got to follow state laws. And I need to see the paperwork. And the HOA have a lot of say-so, but if they don't ask for the paperwork and they're not showing the rest of the citizens in the neighborhood the paperwork, I'm kind of confused. I want to know, a certain percent that they're supposed to have complete. And when they get to that certain percent, then the HOA and the developer are supposed to come together and they're supposed to check off a list. And so I'm asking like, so are they at that percentage? Or if they're not, then what are y'all talking about? What y'all gonna be checking off, what y'all want? And that's my questions.
Yeah, our HOA president can answer those questions,
Okay,
definitely.
okay. Because like I said, I don't deal with talking. You know, being in business, you can talk all day long. If you ain't put nothing on paperwork, you you know, people can always change and say, I didn't say that. So that's what I want to see. I want to see things in writing. I want to see the law. When you're talking to me too, I want to see the law. I want to know what law you're talking about. Because a lot of times the developers just be talking and they don't be talking the law.
Hey, Rachel, Monica put a description of St. Burke. They were established by Drepack Capital Partners a while back. Check the chat box on this Zoom meeting. But I think we still need to do the research going off the you know, the files and everything off the city to really make sure, because I don't know, the guy that was back there, he said St. Burke, but you know, I don't know.
Yeah, this next time, Ray, when they come through, even when I do my
Yeah, I'll try to get a business card or something.
yeah.
It was all just, I mean, all of a sudden we finished dinner and somebody's knocking at our door, and I was like,
yeah.
So it was just like, who are you? You know. But when he said St. Burke, I asked him like 2 or 3 times, because I was like, that was a new one. I'm like, St. Burke? Who is St. Burke? So, but yeah, that sounds like the company that would be involved. Based on their description, you would think that they could potentially be the declarant, but I think we need to verify that by you know, checking the city records and stuff like that. So I think that would be a good thing to do next.
Yeah. Okay. All right. It's about 9:30. Anybody got anything else to say?
Chairman, you know, you sent me a link for water filters. Maybe you could send it to everybody. Since you know you were suggesting it, you actually sent me some information about water filters.
Yeah,
So
that was
maybe
from I know exactly what you're talking about, from EPA. Yeah, you're exactly right. I need to send it to everybody. Usually EPA, and there's a company called South Face. South Face is more of a conservation company, and they do a lot of training. So I'll get with both of them, but the link that I sent you was from EPA. So that's the one I trust the most. So I'll make sure I send all that out. Because what's going on in that water, the drinking water? Anybody got pre-existing illness? Please put that filter on. Please put the filter on.
I definitely have a pre-existing illness, and a lot of my neighbors do as well.
I don't cook with it. I don't. I'm telling you. I'm telling you what I know. I'm from Louisiana, and so main thing. We have one of the worst waters, and I'm telling you now, Rockdale County water is one of the worst. So
what kind of filter do you have on in your house?
just can't come up. I have to show it to you. I have to send you a picture.
Okay.
But I have filters all over. I have filters on my shower too. So, so I've just been in the field for a long time. And I know what's going on. And this county is, once you got a county that's that's out of compliance, and it's not gonna flip a switch and it's gonna be back in compliance. You're talking about some years to get this back in compliance. And you're talking about anywhere between 500 million to about, I say about $1.8 billion. Just to get it back in compliance where it should be. So, I mean, you can ride down 138 to 12. I had a lot of people calling me, and you can smell the sewage. Our county shouldn't be that way. We should have, this should be one of the most wealthiest county in the state of Georgia. We're the second smallest. So we're not trying to be a cement asphalt county. That's what I'm telling everybody. We should have golf cart community. Nature trails. There should be nature trails in McCarthy Landing. So we're going to keep fighting.
It was actually advertised when I looked at McCart Landing to come and live, to purchase a home. It was advertised nature trails. I haven't seen one nature trail yet.
Usually a community like that usually have a nature trail, and that don't even make any sense. Well, we're going to work on it, and I'm looking forward to talking to you at 1 o'clock. But so we can find out the paperwork and know exactly what's going on, and then we need to move forward. Ebony was 100% right. She said, you can't play around with this. You got to move real quick. That corporation is about to try to take over your whole community.
Monica, did you still need information for a lawyer? Because she's really good and she knows what she's talking about. I can share her information with you. I have your information.
Yes, please. Thank
Okay,
you.
I'm texting it right now. You're welcome.
And she's a real estate lawyer. So, all right, guys, we're gonna bring this to a close. And y'all got any questions or anything you need to contact me with, please contact me so we can get to the bottom of this and make sure we take care of our county and make sure we hold people accountable.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming.
My pleasure.
I
Everybody,
enjoyed
have a good day.
All right.
Thanks.
Okay.
Consider it done.
All
Thank
right.
you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Y'all take care.
Bye.